still got that drink problem then.
Today, Bob?
Today is day number 14 at sea for the good ship Koru and all who sail aboard her. And the wind is in the west, thank God the wind is in the west. It's not the wicked wind of the west, it's the wonderful wind of the west. We're very pleased about that. It went round overnight. There was virtually no wind last night, so it was very frustrating. We're thinking, we did some motoring yesterday and we're thinking it's going to be one of those nights where we're just wallowing around, not doing very much. But it did set in. And right at the moment it's okay. There's probably about 15 knots of breeze coming just over the starboard quarter, so it's just a little bit south of west. It means that we can sail east, and that's fantastic. And we're bowling along at, wow, 4.3 knots, 4.2 knots, 4.1 knot. But a little bit more over the ground, probably about 5 knots over the ground. So that's good. We did, in the last 24 hours, we did 110 nautical miles, so not a bad day's run, but some of that was under power, of course, and it was just a little bit more than 24 hours. So I actually did the log at 25 hours, so a little bit more than a day's run, so probably about 100, just over 100 miles for the day's run, which is great, and it's all good towards the destination, so that's fantastic. It was the 13th yesterday, and the only creature for which it was an unlucky day was a beautiful little, I think it was a dorado, a little fish about this big. Absolutely beautiful, golden and turquoise. Member of the dolphin family, I think. And so we hooked him on a line that we had trailing astern, which is great. Very quickly he was sizzling in a pan. We are carnivores. And very tasty he was too. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt and a little bit of butter, and it was just absolutely perfect. So it's our first fish that we've caught. In fact, I think it's the first fish we have ever caught aboard this boat. So now I've nailed what the long line needs to look like in terms of its little weights and things, one that actually works. So that's really good. So we caught rainwater, we've caught a little bit of food, would sustain us for at least half a day. Day number, what at sea is it? Oh, it's day number 14 at sea, and probably about 8 or 9 days still to go. We have about 700 miles to run. We mentioned yesterday that we'd seen another sailing yacht. We saw the lights of that yacht during the night, and this morning when we woke up it was completely on the other side of us and around about the same position, about 3 miles off. But instead of being off our starboard quarter, now she's off our port quarter. And we're pretty sure it's the same yacht. And I think the reason that she changed position so much is because they're lousy at steering. It's either that or we were zigzagging our way across the ocean during the night, which I think is probably much more the case. We don't have an electronic autopilot on here, so Wally will follow the wind, and if there is no wind he'll just drift in circles, and if there's a current he'll drift wherever that's taking him, or the boat will drift wherever that takes her. So that's where we are. And then late yesterday afternoon, early yesterday evening, really at last light, it was almost magical. There were so many fish jumping around us. It's not exactly that the ocean was teeming with wildlife, but if you've never seen a tuna, a 100-pound or even a 200-pound tuna jump in the ocean not a few hundred yards away from where you are, and one actually jumped only about 50 yards away. And those things can come out of the sea at that kind of an angle, and they do this sort of woohoo, like a fairground thing. Way. They jump up to about 6 or 8 or even 10 feet out of the water, and the one that I saw in the distance, he was a huge fish. He's even at distance, must have been a couple of £100. It cleared the water by 8 feet or 10 feet. It was an enormous jump. I've seen a bunch of tuna over the years, and particularly in the Indian Ocean, and I've never seen one jump that high. It was just extraordinary. He was either fleeing from something or he was chasing something. I suspect he was chasing something. We watched a bunch of them jumping around the yacht. So all very exciting. We sat on the foredeck there, just drifting along, drinking a gin and tonic as the sun went down. All very romantic stuff. Was it romantic?
Very romantic.
It was very romantic. There you go. It's official. The mate says it was very romantic. It must have been romantic. So it was a lovely, lovely evening. Now we're poled out. We got the genoa poled out again. Actually, we don't carry a genoa on this boat. We carry more correctly a sail called a Yankee. And a Yankee has the foot of the sail is cut somewhat higher than the genoa, so it can clear over the guardrails easier. It means that you don't have quite as much square footage, and maybe we suffer from that in light airs because the foresail that we have isn't quite as big as it should be, and also we don't carry a staysail. And this boat is actually cutter rigged, and she should have a staysail of a couple of 100 feet to fill in there as well.
It's a Bermuda longtail flying around.
And right now we have a Bermuda longtail flying around. Load fast. Oh, there he is. Hovering. So what else do we have? The cat peed on the floor again. Not that chuffed with the cat, I have to say. Went down into the bilge this time and over some of our spare supply of water. So we had a grumpy skipper there for a while this morning, spraying bleach everywhere, and so here we are. We got the wind on the chuff. We're bowling along.
Does everyone know what wind on the chuff?
You understand what wind up the chuff means? Yes, it's wind on the bottom, it's wind on the back of the boat, wind on the stern. It's up your chuff. Okay. And along we go towards the Azores. We're expecting maybe we'll see a few more whales as we get closer. We've seen a few. We saw some out towards the horizon, and we saw a couple a little bit closer, just spouting. Nicky saw the fluke of one go up, and as he took a dive, and hopefully we'll see a few more as we get a bit closer, but not too close to us, we hope. So that's where we are, day 14 aboard the good ship.
The good ship.
We'll edit that piece out.
The good ship.
Day number 14 aboard the good ship Koru. Is there anything I've missed, my darling?
Oh, probably.
Yes, oh, probably. She says yes, I've missed. Just wanted to point out what a beautiful woman the first mate aboard here is. She's absolutely gorgeous, and I love her to pieces, and I just want the world to know that. I know exactly what's going through her mind. Okay. Speak to you again tomorrow on day number 15. Wow, less than 700 miles to go. Super.
Hooray!
Hurrah! Hurrah!
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Huzzah! And is that rain coming, I think?
Yeah, maybe some more rain. Great.
Yeah, we'll show you the picture of the clouds behind us.
Clouds behind us.
Or
and then
at the chuff.
And then if it rains here, we've got clouds up the chuff, and if it rains, we shall collect some rainwater in our patented rainwater collection device, which we shall show you. We'll show you it tomorrow anyway, but hopefully we might get a chance to show it to you in action, collecting rainwater. Okay, see ya.